We talked earlier about now women's increased protein demand. Do men also need an increased protein intake as well?
Yes, men need sufficient protein to help maintain muscle mass and strength as they age. A study published online in JAMA Internal Medicine suggests that the source of that protein may also dictate how long they live.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening once again. This is your boy Reggie Reg and Dr. Danette Joseph. We bring you greetings, y'all, from Joy and Affliction Ministries. We are so happy you can join us as we continue our series now on protein. Dr. Joseph, can you give us a recap on the last session, if you don't mind?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Okay, so last week we began by describing protein. It is one of 3 macronutrients the body uses for energy. Now, protein is made up of 20 amino acids. But just a correction from last week. I said that there were 8 amino acids. There are actually 9 amino acids. So, oops on me. Anyway, there are 9 amino acids that our bodies can't produce. We need to get them from food. So a lot of this information that I'm sharing can be found on trusted websites such as Fork Over Knives and Harvard Health and a whole host of other websites. All right, so protein is a crucial macronutrient that plays a vital role in building and repairing tissues, including muscle, bone, skin. It also supports physiologic functions like enzyme and hormone production, immune system function, transportation of nutrients. So protein is essential for growth, development, overall health, especially for children, teens, and pregnant women. And last session, we talked about the myths that we need animal protein to be completely healthy. Myth. We talked about the myth that plant proteins are incomplete or inferior to animal protein. Myth. We addressed the fact that we do not have to rely on animal proteins, as they lend themselves to lifestyle diseases such as heart disease, high cholesterol, diabetes, and hypertension.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph, for the recap and clarification. So tonight, y'all, we will discuss how much protein we need each day and how much we are actually getting. So, Dr. Joseph, how much protein do we need?
So, as with other things in the human body, there's always a formula. So the formula for protein is actually 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or 0.36 grams per pound. So if you know how much you weigh in kilograms, it would be 0.8 grams per protein per kilogram. Or if you know how much you weigh in pounds, it's 0.36 grams per pound. So let's go to math class. If you weigh 50 kilograms, it would be 50 kilograms or 50 times 0.8. If you know your weight in pounds, if you weigh 200 pounds, it would be 200 times 0.36. Okay, so you can do the calculation in pounds or in kilograms. Of course, during pregnancy, protein needs of women go up. So if you're pregnant, you're going to need more protein. Experts, they kind of say 75 to 100 grams of protein a day for the developing fetal tissue, as well as for the placenta, the breast, and the blood supply. So definitely check with your doctor on your specific protein needs.
All right. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Joseph. So once again, Dr. Joseph, where shall we get our protein?
Last session, we talked about comparing animal versus plant protein. So let me talk a little bit more about that. When your doctor says eat more protein, don't read eat more protein, go get more meat, okay? That is not what the doctor is saying. Yes, beef, poultry, milk, cheese, eggs certainly provide high amounts of protein, but so can so many plant foods, which provide healthier sources of protein, including whole grains, beans, legumes, nuts, and of course, vegetables. The point we are making is that we want to avoid lifestyle diseases. We want to avoid cholesterol problems, diabetes issues, heart disease, hypertension. Even diseases like gout, arthritis can be positively affected if we reduce our animal proteins.
Hmm.
It's also important to consider the protein package, the fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that invariably come along with protein.
Mm-hmm.
Aim for protein sources low in saturated fat. Avoid processed carbohydrates. So
Mm.
basically, you want those protein rich in nutrients, but low in the fats and the processed carbohydrates.
Oh, all right. Good. Yeah. Good. Wow. That's very informative. I was not aware of those, that such of information. So, Dr. Joseph, how much protein do we usually get?
In 2013, the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics published the largest study to date, comparing the nutrient intake of more than 71,000 non-vegetarians, vegetarians, and vegans. The study found that on average, vegetarians and vegans get 70% more protein than they need every day, while non-vegetarians get even more than that, 80 gram plus. So without even trying, you're more than likely getting more protein than you need, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or omnivore. Protein deficiency is almost exclusively seen in people suffering from a calorie deficiency. In these cases, the concern should be getting more calories and more of all nutrients, not just protein.
Great. We talked earlier about now women's increased protein demand. Do men also need an increased protein intake as well?
Yes, men need sufficient protein to help maintain muscle mass and strength as they age. A study published online in JAMA Internal Medicine suggests that the source of that protein may also dictate how long they live. In the next session or two, we're going to talk about, can plant protein help you live longer? And we'll talk more about this. Anyhow, scientists examined the diets of more than 400,000 people ages 50 and older who consumed protein from plant sources, red meat, and eggs. They were then followed for more than 16 years. Those who ate mostly plant protein instead of red meat or egg protein had a 13% to 24% lower risk of death from any cause.
Wow. Wow.
So how much? Yeah. How much plant protein is enough? The researchers found that men in particular had a 12% lower risk of death for every 10 gram of plant protein per 1,000 calories they consumed. So plant protein can help you live longer.
All right, amen. Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph, for those wonderful words and reminding us the important why we should be, increasing our protein intake. And thanks to God, friends and families and loved ones, we are learning a lot about protein. So please return in the next few weeks for the next segment. Remember, it is every second and fourth Thursday of each month. Be encouraged. Keep pursuing ultimate health. Remember, God has his eyes on you. We are out. Joy in affliction. Bye-bye.